it's just a cesspool of people who can't decide if they want to be super aggressive or super passive and just can't rotate properly and have no idea what they're doing.
It's kind of like this podcast.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Surprise Mechanic Alex. Welcome to the Real Gamerscore podcast. This week I am joined by the nuts and bolts, Kirby.
Hey.
And Matt.
Howdy.
Here at the Real Gamerscore podcast, we like to discuss all things Xbox, achievements, and blasé corporate responses from Rod Ferguson. This week we talk about stumpings while out of your crease, cash cows and horse cards, and not Sherlock Holmes. But first, here's the song of the week.
Building a perfect deck of cards, trashing the stuff that I don't want, fighting through endless waves of mobs, slamming floors as I want, shopping, spending all of my loot, buying relics to fill my suit, resting to heal all of my wounds, prepping for the next round. You're an elite mob, sweep me off my feet mob, gritting on my teeth mob, chipping at my health mob. Now it's boss time, sacrifice my lifetime, cycle through my deck time, burst damage of cards time, slay the spire.
Duh.
Heart of the cards. Heart of the cards.
That was terrible.
No, that was pretty
It's
good.
also, it's weird because it's not actually singing, and it's like it's. I don't have enough breath for not singing like that. Anyway, good luck to everyone because that's going to be a tough one.
I think you did a pretty good rendition. Well, obviously that's part of our Song of the Week competition. Last week's song was mine, Backstreet's Back, by probably the Backstreet Boys, but we can't really be sure. If you have a guess for what this week's song is, you can send the answer to the Real Gamerscore account on trueachievements.com, and we'll enter you in for a prize. Are we drawing a prize today?
No, next week.
No,
Even numbers.
Next week.
Even numbers.
All right. I'm going to ask you that quite a lot. Kind of like how when Damien and Planting used to do the reviews, and he would say, "Is it the solo side this week?" And it was never.
No, never solo side because he always did. No. He always did team side.
It'll just take me like 6 months before I stop asking that. All right, but you can also join us in Discord. You can find the link to do so at discord.io/realgamerscore. You can find our Patreon page at patreon.com/realgamerscore. And you can also, we'll talk to you a little bit about the contests we run as well. So we run a couple of them. The random to-do list competition. We give away a game each month. All you need to do that is earn one achievement in your random to-do list and answer a trivia question. It's another game with the word blast in the title.
Oh, it's not anymore. It's not anymore because it's October.
You'd have to get your answer in before next episode.
Yeah. It's too late.
You can't unlock an achievement now.
Yeah, it's too late to unlock for September because we've just rolled over into new lists, and I'll take a look at my list right now.
But so you can do that. You can still enter the trivia question, but you cannot unlock an achievement for the September draw. We'll draw that next episode, and that's a code for, is it Superstar Blast?
Superstar Blast, yes. I want to say this game. It's either Superstar Blast or Super Blast Star.
Yep. But you answer the question, what is another game with the word blast in the title? Obviously not Superstar Blast. So you can send the answer to that question to the Random To-Do List account on True Achievements. That's Random To-Do List. That's all one word. Or you can send it to ChinDocta, but probably send it to Random To-Do List. That's the best place for it.
Yeah, if you send it to me, I will 110% forget.
Chances are high, yes.
Someone did.
So we'll...
Pretty sure someone did.
Was it Cameron?
No, definitely. It wasn't Cameron this time. Otherwise, I'd absolutely have remembered and called him out on it.
Well, while you think about that, we'll say probably for next episode we'll decide what the new code will be for and we'll have a new trivia question. All right. Still thinking about that, Chin?
Yeah, I'm just 110% broken this game.
All right, we're going to hop straight in the news. So this one just dropped on True Achievements, I think in the last 48 hours, but apparently Rockstar have no plans for Red Dead Redemption 2 single-player DLC. So they were in an interview with VG247, 24/7, never even heard of them. But Rockstar said they're only focusing on Red Dead Online, meaning single-player DLC in the future is looking unlikely.
Which are we really
surprised?
surprised? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the least surprising news all year, pretty much.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, in other news, water is wet, and
is it though?
it's not really a surprise.
Is water
Not
wet
for me? Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as we know, so far.
But I mean, we don't want to get into that. But wetness is the adherence of a liquid onto the surface of usually a solid. So
all the water's touching all the other waters. It's making all the other waters wet.
Just not adhering
it's
to
fine.
it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's straight up adhering.
Chin, you're really adhering us by doing a solid and completely ruining this bit. So thanks for that.
Anyway, yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not surprised that they're going to not make DLC for the bit that doesn't make them tons of money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the same thing with... Yeah.
Have they put in much in the way of microtransactions on Red Dead Online? I have really been paying attention to it.
I imagine...
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's horse cards, but I assume it's their gold. They have gold bars.
That's a premium currency, I suppose, is it?
Yeah.
I believe it's... You can... I don't know exactly, but I know it was... Prices for things were ridiculously high unless you bought stuff, and you earn very tiny amounts of gold from the actual playing the game.
Yeah. So they have obviously their free currency, which is the dollars, and then they have gold bars, which is your premium. Gold bars range from 25, 55, 150, 245, and 350 in your add-ons, with 350 being $99. Well,
is that best value?
That's best value. They don't have a most popular though.
Right.
Which,
Okay.
Right. As most free-to-play games, it's usually the third one is the most popular. Like the $20 bundle is your most popular, and the best value is your $712 bundle.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, I guess it's like we said, it's not really a surprise yet, but I think it's pretty disappointing because some of the best DLC I've played in terms of single player DLC has been in Grand Theft Auto games. I still remember the Ballad of Gay Tony in Grand Theft Auto. Was that Grand Theft Auto 4?
4, yep.
Yeah. And the Lost and Damned Motorcycle Club, or whatever it was, that was really good as well.
Yep.
Motorcycle Club, the friendly, just go have a motorcycle club, go have a little ride.
Well, if I just said the Lost and Damned, people might not have known what they were. They're a bike gang, you know. All right.
Yeah, gang's a little bit different to a club.
They'd say they're a club. They're a club. Just
they're
a very exclusive club.
Activities.
After school riding sesh.
I would have liked to have seen some single player DLC for Grand Theft Auto 5. I might have not traded in as soon as I finished the campaign, but
yeah, I'm with you for that. I think this is really the least surprising thing, though. I mean, I remember when GTA 5 came out and everyone was talking about how they were going to need a new DLC for it. You know, new heists, new that sort of thing, and then it just all ended up being online. Shark cards came out, and suddenly, you know, Rockstar were making so much money that there's no way they would do single player DLC, because realistically, they just don't care that much.
No. It's
too big. It makes too much money.
The other thing is, Red Dead 2 being a prequel, there's just sort of, at least with the main character, you're limited with what kind of story DLC you could have.
Especially considering how that ends, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't really have a lot of avenues of well, this grand adventure happened, but he didn't remember it in the first game. So don't worry about it. I mean, you could do stuff with side characters, sure, but that's kind of another sticking point for them doing story DLC.
So
that's what they did with Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah.
They were both side characters, Gay Tony and whatever the White Club's.
Some might argue Gay
guy's name
Tony
is.
was the main character of the game, that you just never saw him. Gay Tony was the best.
he was pretty hilarious. I mean, I didn't mind playing as I didn't mind playing as Luis, but he was kind of one note.
I don't know. I was just always bowling. Did you guys have that?
In that game, I mean, that was basically all of GTA 4, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was mainly a bowling and pool playing simulator. Occasionally, you got to a gunfight on the way to between pool halls and bowling alleys.
I mean, that happens in real life, so... All right. Well, yeah, we're not surprised. Not surprised there. We'll move on. This one was sent in... Cameron, Shadowless Edge, sent this to me.
Did he?
Interesting article. So, Cuphead, which everyone would be pretty familiar with. Cuphead has the first video game soundtrack to hit #1 on Billboard's jazz charts.
Huh.
So I think that's pretty interesting news. So, yeah, it's hit the coveted #1 spot. It is Billboard's jazz charts. I mean, I don't know much about the music in this game, but jazz seems to fit the kind of aesthetic they have happening there.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, and another string to Cuphead's bow, I suppose, in that they've just knocked it out of the park with their game. I think they've just dropped some DLC, and now all of a sudden they've hit #1 in the jazz charts. Like, they just keep going from strength to strength by the sounds of it. So
yeah, I can't say I'm surprised on that either. I remember when the game first came out, like its first month or so, some of the songs were charting, like before the actual soundtrack came out, were charting in the jazz charts pretty high up as well. But I mean, I think really the #1 reason it hit #1 was all those game journalists who decided just to buy the soundtrack instead of having to get through the tutorial. It just really bumped those numbers up.
Yeah.
that won't have hurt.
Yeah, and all the streaming. Just, I'm sure that the as in like Spotify or whatever, not people playing on Twitch. Just to clarify, because that is sort of the go-to for streaming. When we say streaming, you think Twitch or Mixer. No, yeah, because how Billboard ranks it is they do with album sales, the just individual track purchases, digital and physical, and streaming services. So those have a combined metric and different weighting to figure out what's sort of the most popular album. This is the re-release of the soundtrack. And I think alongside this, there's a sale on Cuphead on the Switch, at least, to celebrate this happening, or something to do with an anniversary or something. But no, having played very little of it because I'm a baby gamer and I play baby games, I did enjoy the soundtracks for the bosses I did play. They're quite good. They're quite well made. Is that I don't know if it's quite big band. I can't remember exactly, but it's got that feel, that the era that it's trying to portray, and the again, those films that it's trying to make you think of and be nostalgic for, in that era. It's very the pieces fit the setting and theme.
It's a period piece in many ways, and it's like artistically and musically, it's a fantastic game in general.
Yeah.
Actually, I might see if it's on Spotify. I might just actually listen to the soundtrack tomorrow. That sounds because actually
get it back up to #1.
Yeah, keep it up there.
There's also the sheet music that you can purchase in a bundle.
Yeah, I remember reading
for
that.
4 different skill levels, or 4 packages for different skill levels. So the journalist package, the
What a slap to the face.
no, it's high school concert band, high school jazz band, professional charts, and barbershop quartet charts. Though,
say barbershop quartet. That's us in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
okay.
Get that going.
Except it clearly hasn't. I don't know. That's not the correct. Like, that's not the order of easiest to hardest, because the barbershop quartet is the $5 one, and the professional charts are $50. So, I mean,
Sure.
It makes sense. There's not much instrument playing in a barbershop quartet. Like
Usually not.
It's mostly just singing. Yeah, all good. Yep, sure. No, it's great music.
Right.
Well deserved.
I agree. From the little I've heard of it, anyway. All right, now this one, Neo, you're about to get fired up.
Yeah, okay, so the story just dropped recently about a Twitter post from Rod Ferguson. Rod Ferguson? Yeah, the Gears Viking himself, about microtransactions in Gears 5. So people have been saying, they're a bit worried about the infectious nature of the microtransactions in Gears 5 in the same way that they were with Gears 4. And so Rod Ferguson has basically come out saying, with a tweet to reply to someone else who was basically saying, I'm just scared our beloved game franchise is going into the direction of something like Battlefront 2. I know you guys aren't trying to make the game pay to win. The prices in grinding are just kind of ridiculous for people who can't spend that time or money. And so Rod Ferguson has replied saying, we're learning as we go. This is a completely different economy for Gears 4, removed gear packs, so it'd take us a little time to work through any issues. Our first attempt is not our last, and we will continue to evolve until we get it right. Which is the most blasé corporate non-response I have heard from anything outside of EA in a long time. Because basically what he's saying there is, well, we make a bunch of money off this. It's not as bad as it used to be, so just, whatever. We might fix it if we feel like it, if people complain enough. But otherwise, just deal with it. Maybe I'm reading a little too much into it, but it just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of microtransactions in any games, full stop. Obviously people will say, well, games are expensive or games are this, blah, blah, it's only cosmetic or this, that, and the other. But the amount of grinding that you need and the amount of currencies and all the kind of stuff that they put in Gears 5, it feels like a massive treadmill. And that's part of the reason I haven't played it on my tag, is just because I just don't have I don't have the time or the money to put into a single game like that. Obviously they need to explore new revenue streams and all that sort of stuff because games aren't cheap to make. But, coming off basically saying, it's not as bad as Gears 4, the one we did before. It's not like Gears 4 was a completely different game that they didn't make, Alex, I know you have some choice things to say about Gears 4. But
don't get me started on that goddamn resupply card.
Right.
They got $13.45 out of me that they didn't deserve, and I still haven't finished the friggin' game.
Exactly, right?
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like it's... I feel like I don't know. Is it really worth the price they're asking for? I guess is the question. Is the game worth the time investment? If the grind wasn't there, would you play the game less or would you play the game more? I guess that's the question for us in the community, because looking at horrendous grinds like that, and people often talk about microtransactions around, they're optional, or that they're just cosmetic, or you can unlock them through the game as well. You don't have to buy anything. But as I always say, if they're in the game, they were no developer puts them in the game for them not to be purchased. It's like saying, it's optional. It's like, well, then if it's optional, why is it there in the first place? And I also don't trust developers to not increase the grind on their games to encourage people to buy those instead of just making shorter grinds or more rewarding games. And I think Gears 5 is a perfect example of that. I think a lot of actual, like a lot of the Microsoft games, Gears, Forza, I'm really worried about the new Halo, to be honest. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic game, but I'm worried about, even Halo 5 had, their whole requisition card packs that you could buy and all that sort of stuff for their Warzone mode. It added nothing to the game. It just made it consumable, a loot box, and for what reason? Just to get some extra cash out of people? I don't know. I feel like it really just kills off goodwill. But I don't know. I guess all it takes, it depends on, is Goodwill doesn't pay employees and gets games made. Loot boxes apparently and microtransactions do.
Did you say before the show you had some friends who were also pretty ropeable about this?
Yeah. So some the people that I play with and some of my Discord buddies, they are absolutely just not having any of it because it just for the sort of reasons I've discussed. I mean, obviously they weren't happy with Gears 4 either, and it really feels like going because I've gone back and played. I've been playing Gears.
Oh, they weren't, were they? They weren't happy with Gears 4 microtransactions. Oh, I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, no, right? They were. Yeah, they were. They've had some opinions, and improving is one thing, but saying that it's completely different, or that and sure they said that this is our first attempt and not our last, but you only get one first attempt. They had to know people would react this way and people wouldn't be happy about it. Learning as we go. I mean, it might as well just be saying learning as we go, F ourselves, because it's basically just them saying, oh, well, whatever. We might get it right. And I don't think that's good enough for people, because I think that sort of, it puts the blame on them saying, it's like, oh, we never could have expected that we would get backlash for this. And it's like, well, where have you been for the last 5 to 10 years? Because, of course people aren't going to be happy with grinding for hundreds of hours for currency that you're trying to encourage them to buy, locking away characters and cosmetics and things like that you would normally just get for playing the games. I don't know. I'll get off my soapbox, but it just seems disingenuous.
Well, I had a look because I don't know a whole lot about the microtransactions that they have, apart from the fact that they said they were removing the gear system. And I distinctly remember saying, it's too late. They removed the gear system. I'm still not playing Gears 5. So I had a quick look. I had a quick Google, how much are Gears 5's microtransactions. So just this little paragraph on a Gaming Bolt article. Iron, which is the premium currency, can be earned through the Tour of Duty, but even after extensive grinding, you'll be lucky to have 250 iron on you. Most cosmetics in the store cost a whopping 1,000 iron, which is close to $10. And there are skin packs, which are going for $35. And this is gamingbolt.com, so I presume that's American dollars. It'd be one thing if the cosmetics was something truly cool or unique, but you can get a thumbs up emote for $7. Also, have you wondered why the multiplayer roster feels thin compared to previous iterations? Or why characters like Baird and Cole, staples of the multiplayer experience and very much present in the campaign, are missing? It's likely because the Coalition will sell them separately as new seasons arrive. So I just thought, I feel like removing the gear pack was a good step, but then they have to put something in. They put some characters in. You pay, I think, $10 for a character seems pretty fair. Especially if it's, it's a bit high. But
I would say maybe
that's fair enough.
I mean, it's a skin though, is the thing. I mean, and I think it really depends on what the skins are. I would pay $10 if it was a pack of skins, maybe. If it was the same character with 5 different versions of it or something. But $10 for a single skin. I mean, the game itself is. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a full price game. I mean, obviously most people are going to be playing it through Game Pass, but. It's still
let me put it like this: the character that I played of in Gears of War 3, Aaron Griffin, I unlocked him. I don't even remember how you unlock him in Gears of War 3, to be honest. But in Gears of War 4, you had to do 750 kills of something. I don't remember what the challenge was, and that was the second chance I had to unlock him for free. And the first chance that came up to unlock him, I wasn't even playing Gears of War 4, so I could never have got it. But after that, he cost $14.95 Australian. You could buy it, which, I don't know, what's that, close to $10 US, $10 to $12 US, something like that. And for me, I love that character. It's voiced by Ice-T, who's just straight up G. But if I didn't manage to unlock him, knowing how long I was going to spend in that game, I would have paid $15 Australian to have him as a skin. But he would probably be he would be the only thing that I saw in my time that I would be prepared to pay actual real money for, aside from the resupply card, which cost me almost the same amount. The weapon skins were cool, but there's a lot of cool things you can unlock during the game. They had a lot of challenges that you could unlock weapon skins and a lot of playable characters. So for all the faults that the gear system had, it did have some good stuff in it. It was just conspicuously absent on the resupply card, which made me extraordinarily salty about it. But getting back to God, this resupply card, it just keeps making a comeback. But this going back to the skins, I mean, what's Fortnite charge? $20 for a skin?
But Fortnite's a free-to-play game, and I think that's the difference. Is I feel like I was thinking of this Fortnite, Apex Legends. They're free-to-play games where the only way they make money is from skins, and they still charge. I mean, usually about $10 depending on the skin and that sort of stuff, because they're taking loot boxes out and that sort of stuff. But this is like, I feel like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. You can't charge $100 New Zealand, or 120 or 60 US or whatever it ends up being for a full price game, and then just take stuff out, hide stuff away from previous games to charge you for it, or basically incentivize you to pay for it because it's way too much of a grind to get it normally.
Yeah, well, far be it for me to defend the Coalition, but we talked about an article, I think 2 episodes ago, that they had 3 million players in their first week. Not all of them, nowhere near all of them, would have paid for the game. They would have already had a Game Pass subscription. And they're not getting $60 times 3 million players.
Well, we don't know what the revenue split is for.
No, not at all. But I'd be surprised if 1 million people bought it. I would be very, very surprised.
Yeah, I could probably see that.
I think that a lot of people just went, I've been hearing all about this Gears 5. I've got Game Pass for these other games that I like, and I'm just going to check it out. They play it for 5 minutes and go, I'm not happy with it. And that counts as one person. Then, obviously, there's a lot of people that go, hey, I'm going to play this game. I'd never pay $60 for it, but I'm going to play this game for a while. My friends are playing it. I'll hang out with them. And then you get idiots like me that would pick up the game and go, I'm going to play this for 1,000 hours because you put seriously Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, been there.
So when I say $10 might be a fair price for a skin, yeah, technically it's not free to play, but there's a lot of people with Game Pass.
Yes, but I think...
And it kind of is not far from being free to play, really.
True, but I think the other difference here is that we're talking about a first-party studio here. I mean, the Coalition is...
Yeah.
I think that's obviously the split for... I would have to assume the split for the first-party developers is going to be better than for third-party on Game Pass. Whether it's a direct monetary split or whether it's support from Microsoft. I mean, because Microsoft really has a real invested interest in making sure that these games are successful on Game Pass to keep people subscribed, because it's going to be the new way games come out going forward.
Yeah,
and even disc games, even the $60 US, the developer doesn't see all of that anyway, but through production costs and distribution and things like that. There's obviously a split, but I'm interested. Obviously, yeah, it's not going to be it's probably not the same split they would have got if they actually sold the game. But I'm willing to bet that the increasing number of Game Pass would more than outweigh the people who would have bought the game anyway, at least in the launch week.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing that I come back to now is I am getting a bit concerned that Microsoft, who, correct me if I'm wrong, they own the Coalition, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They don't really seem too concerned about the way the microtransactions have been in Gears of War 4 or in Gears of War 5. And I think back to, obviously, Battlefront with the massive furor that caused. Disney, who owned the license that they were using, turned around to him and said, at one point, what are you doing? You're actually damaging the Star Wars brand.
Mm.
You know, and you can't really compare Gears of War to the Star Wars brand, obviously, but on a smaller scale, maybe Microsoft are not concerned about the image. Maybe they don't think it's too bad. If they did, I think if they did, they would be going, hang on a minute, Coalition, you need to pull your head in, because we're thinking beyond this second trilogy of games here.
Mm. Yeah, you're right, but I think that, I don't really know, because I mean, Microsoft obviously makes a cut on every single microtransaction that happens on their system. So, I mean, of course they're going to encourage it. Obviously, I don't agree with it, and I try to avoid them as much as possible. But, I mean, I'm not going to stand up for Microsoft either. I don't think they're doing the right thing by any of them.
I guess I'm thinking now in terms of the three of us and the way we interact with microtransactions. So I feel like, and you guys jump in and tell me if I'm off base here, but I feel like, Matt, you're super anti microtransactions. Kirby, you have mentioned in the past that you have had far too high of an affinity for microtransactions. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. It got me thinking, like, Matt, is there a game that you feel like does microtransactions well? A game that you are happy, or maybe have spent some money on and thought, you know, okay, fair enough, you know, these guys have made a pretty cool game. I'm happy to chop them out $5, $10, 15, whatever. I
think, there aren't many of them. I mean, I have purchased microtransactions in the past because I'm human, but especially on like Neverwinter, for example, like that game is just full of loot boxes. Or, you know, if you need to get, they have a elite tier of registration you can get for a year or whatever. So I'd usually pay money for that. But that's more of a subscription than a microtransaction. But I guess it's splitting hairs at this point. So, I mean, that one was the only one because it was a free-to-play game. I mean, obviously they gave nickels and dimes in other areas, so I don't know if I want to give them a pass. The only one that really comes to mind was... do you remember that game Jetpack Joyride?
I've heard the name, yeah.
It's a side-scrolling game where you have a jetpack and you have to go through, like, it's an endless runner. So I think the Windows Phone version of it came, you could buy a coin doubler for like $1. So it was like, hey, you're going to play through this a million times because it's just, that's the kind of game it is. If you buy this for $1 because the game's free, we get some money and we just double the amount of coins that you get every time, so you can just get the upgrades a bit quicker. And I was like, well, like obviously that's kind of like, well, you know, we designed the game to make some money, but it was $1 and it affected the whole game. And the game was free to play. So I was like, you know what? I'm happy to chuck you $1 for that. Why not?
Was that a free game?
Yeah, free game, yeah.
It's a paid game? Yeah, I mean, a free game and you paid $1 to get twice as many coins. That's
permanently.
You know, yeah, permanently, yeah.
Like, it wasn't just one run. It was... So... and a lot of those free-to-play style games will have something similar. But I'm pretty sure I bought that.
Is there... Well, Kirby, is there a game for you that you feel does microtransactions well? If you want to have a think about it, I've got one.
Yeah, go for it. Let me have a...
Yeah. So for me, I feel like Rocket League. I mean, Rocket League for me is pretty obvious. They're changing their model now. You know, it is still a game of chance, which I don't like. But what I feel Rocket League does well is it gives you so many options to get items. You can trade, for starters, and if you don't want to trade, if you play games, you get item drops. You can trade in 5 of the same rarity for 1 of a higher rarity. You can also buy the Rocket Pass, which I think is about $13.50 Australian. And for about 3 months, every time you go up a level, you get a new item. Up until the hundreds. You know, at the, above level 100 or 120,
70.
They're all coloured.
Above 70, they're all coloured.
Is it 70? Yeah, so they're coloured variants. But that's good because if you want to have a colour-themed car like I like to do, you know, there's something there for you. But you also have even more customization in the crates that you get. You can buy a key, and yes, you have a chance to roll an item that you want. But hey, if you don't ever buy crates, you can still have a badass looking car from all the customization items you've had. And the keys, I think they equal out about $1 US each. So I mean, it's $1 per crate, sure, not $1 for coins for the whole game, but you don't need to buy them.
Yeah,
you know?
I think I would mostly agree with Rocket League actually, because you're right. They give you enough. I think they give you enough stuff that it's not a problem for the most part. Like obviously, if you something specific that you want, then it gets a bit harder. But if you're just looking for cool stuff that you want to trade or change up your car, I'm not a big Rocket League player, but I actually quite enjoyed getting all the cool stuff and putting weird hats on my car and that sort of thing. I also
sorry, go.
I was just saying the one thing I think it works in their favor is that they essentially use microtransactions instead of the standard DLC model, because they still put out updates with new content, new modes, all kinds of other stuff, and I think that kind of makes more sense to me, because obviously they don't want to split player bases, and because of the amount of the microtransaction stuff is purely cosmetic, then it sits a bit better with me, because I'd rather play the modes for free than pay for them, and just have the extra cosmetic stuff be potentially paid, but also still able to get without paying. It just makes it easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only problem is so with the trade ups, if you want a crate item, you have to trade up items from that crate. Like you can't get the crate items from a standard trade up. So the only way to really get those items is to unlock crates, because you're either going to get them in a drop or get enough stuff to trade up to it. Rocket Pass is good in that. I mean, it's been out for just over a month. I think I'm at level 71, and I haven't been playing it a huge ton in this last month. Like, it's been a relatively sort of quieter month for me. I'm at level 71 after a month, and once you hit 110, you can essentially get enough keys to purchase the next Rocket Pass, so it feeds itself, which I mean, I've mentioned Realm Royale does not do. Unless you include the daily login stuff, which you have to, you probably maybe get enough to buy the next Realm Royale pass or whatever it's called, but they don't. I don't think they do it as well as Rocket League does. I've had to, though, hide the crate, so I hide any crate drops I get on Rocket League because of the issues I have. I will turn them back on when I want to use the decryptors, because there are two types of keys to unlock the crate. One makes the item not tradable, the other means you can trade it. So I only ever use the ones that you can't trade the items afterwards, just because I get them for free through the Rocket Pass, and then I hide those crates again so that they're not sort of popping up every 3 matches or so and coming up on my screen saying, you've got this crate, you should unlock it. So yeah, for the most part, I don't actually have any idea how many crates I have, because you can hide that completely, and I think that's well implemented, and it's like I forget that there are crates sometimes because it just never shows up for me. Like it's almost a non-factor in this game now, and I think that's I'd have to agree. Rocket League probably does it the best because of that, because it gives you the option to not see it at all. I've
never heard. I saw that for the first time when we were looking at changing the settings when we played on the weekend, and I saw that setting, and I was like, you can totally not take them out of the game, but
essentially
remove their visibility from the game.
Yeah, so they don't show up at the end of matches as a reward for me. I get them still; they just don't show up because you get you got this hat and these wheels. And sometimes you would get a crate as well. I don't see that crate come up. And when I look at my inventory, I don't see any crates. So, the other only time I turn them on is when you have the events and you can get the free crates that you can just open for free. Like the golden eggs or whatever.
Golden eggs. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only other time I'll turn them on, but it's, that's well implemented in that I don't have to worry about it, and I don't have to worry that I'm gonna get sucked in and have thousands of dollars, quote unquote, down the drain, in somewhere that I wasn't sort of intending them to go. But yeah, Rocket League's good. Anything that doesn't have them, obviously, I think does them really well, but, as for ones that have it, Rocket League is probably one of the better ones, if not the best. Nothing else off the top of my head will do better, because I've been sort of so stuck into indie games that I haven't played a AAA game where it's been a huge thing. Overwatch I haven't touched for years, for example. I can't think of it. The most recent AAA title would have been a dive of Shadow of the Tomb Raider or something,
Yeah, I'm with you. It's the same sort of thing as a lot of the old games that I play just don't have the microtransactions. And I find myself gravitating to older, smaller games that just don't have any form of monetization, where it's just I buy the game, I play the game, and it's the game, and that's it. And that's kind of what I want.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should probably move on, because I think we talked about that a lot longer than I thought we were going to. Jin, hand pass to you for the Great True Achievement Scoring Challenge Roundup.
Okay, sure. I was definitely not reading up on the story that we're not doing while you guys were talking about that. So
now you said it, Chen, so you might as well just say it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, look.
You can edit yourself out later.
There's the bus and the train. What's that? What's that under them? Oh, it's ChinDocta. Okay. Alright, we are in period 14. The bonus is a team side bonus for this week. It is 50-50 vision. You need to end the scoring period with each teammate having unlocked at least one 50 Gamerscore achievement. So,
easy.
Relatively easy, yeah. Super duper easy one given the last week's 3000 TAD difference and the gigantic hammering of so the DLC bug was fixed. So like Monster Hunter World crashed, and I think there were about 200 titles that crashed.
Oof, so that's brutal.
I think up until like the Sunday, the cutoff was like at negative 300. It was pretty ridiculous. So each teammate needs to get at least one achievement that is 50 game score, not one person getting 3 or two getting 1 and one getting 1 and the other getting 2 or something like that. All 3 need to get at least 1. They need to be time-stamped within this period due to how the scanner works. So if you had one from last period that didn't get scanned in until this period, so the points are counting towards this period, it won't count for the bonus because its timestamp will be outside of the period. And yeah, we'll make sure it's timestamped as well. Can't be an offline earned achievement. I think that should be relatively simple. You can look in the My Achievements page and filter by Gamerscore, so you can relatively easily find a 50 Gamerscore achievement. Moving on to what happened in period 13. Our solo cutoff did move up to 539. We have our lowest scorer was Big L with 608 true achievement difference, only 69 above.
Nice.
Alex, you laughed way too much at that joke.
Just appreciate a good joke.
Our high flyer was...
Just say fun for everyone, but okay.
Okay.
Lizzie clip for the week.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Hawkeye Barry 20 was in 16th position with 4,792 true achievement difference. Just remember him, because in a minute it'll be relevant again. We have 4 people get eliminated from solo side: Whispering Clown, Ella Follette 77, Tony Coconuts, and Keith 271179. Sorry, Keith 271,179. My apologies. There's a comma missed in that name. There we go. Fixed it. There we go. A team cutoff was 2,708 true achievement difference. our low team was the 3 Achieve Migos with Knock on Wood, Crobo 360, and Ghost World, who had 2,789, 81 above the drop. And our high team was the Von Coin Bandits of Hawkeye Barry 20, Tropan, and I Need Togepi, who were in first spot with 20,404 true achievement difference. They did use a lot of bonuses to secure it.
20,000.
20,000. 10 may have been from bonuses. But they wanted that first place spot. They got it. Good on them. No teams got knocked out. Luckily, another week, another spicy team side. It's a hotly contested.
Knives are out.
Yeah.
Another week of the thread getting locked in the forums.
Fingers crossed. Let's see. Did it actually get thread?
I don't know. No.
Did it get thread?
Said spicy team action, and I thought maybe someone has been calling someone out, being like, "Ooh, you have to use 10,000 bonus to get the first place." Blah blah blah.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
No. That
sounds like
wouldn't have happened in our thread. God no. It's a wholesome place.
New rules around, not with the new forum rules around.
Let's just not throw accusations around, guys, because we don't want the contest to just stop. All right. Well, actually, I don't care. It's past week 10. I don't give a crap.
No, exactly. We're past week 10. I still haven't figured out how we were all like, yeah, we don't want to we just want week 10 and we're good. We're still all in the competition. How does this happen?
Well, I think
everyone else just
because
sucks.
of Ashes cricket, but anyway, I don't know. The week before was because of Dead Island Retro Revenge. I mean, I don't know. It just... These things just happen. All right.
Sorry.
What are you typing about now, Chid?
Nothing. I'm reading Contact Us messages on True Achievements, and that's a place. It's as bad as being Plat 2 solo queuing on Rocket League. It's just a cesspool of people who can't decide if they want to be super aggressive or super passive, and just can't rotate properly and have no idea what they're doing. But they're mechanically good enough to almost look like they know what they're doing.
Kind of like this podcast.
Yeah.
Alright, well, on that note, we might take a look at what the review is for this week. So, Prue and Mighty Mango have taken the time to review Mutant Year Zero.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's review. I am Prue, and joining me is Mr. Mighty Mango. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Hey, if this game had mutant fruit instead of mutant animals, you could have been in it.
Yes, I could have been Mutant Mango.
Oh, yeah, that's clever.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
So, yeah, because we played a game this week.
Yes, we did. We did play a game. We played Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden. It was developed by the Bearded Ladies and published by Funcom. And it was for sale for $34.99, but it's also on Game Pass.
So, free. Not really free, but,
Well, by the percentage of how much you pay for Game Pass and the games you get, it's basically free.
Basically, yeah. So, okay, so I feel like this game is kind of complicated. So the easiest way is to say it's an XCOM clone.
That would be the easiest way.
Yeah. But
I think there's a little bit more searching for stuff, though, where you kind of have a little bit of free roam until you get into the battle sequences.
Yep. Yeah, so it's interesting because TA has it classified as stealth and turn-based strategy, and that's true. But there's definitely a heavy dose of RPG in there, a little dash of open world. It's pretty
a little bit of where they you get the RPG part because they're trying to tell somewhat of a story.
Yep. Yeah, and your characters like XCOM where everybody's just kind of a generic soldier. Like there's the story, and you can level up your characters and choose different abilities and that sort of stuff. But the stealth aspect is something that I think is really important to this game because you can sort of place your characters in the environment before you start an encounter with the enemies. So as long as you stay sneaky, you can use that to your advantage. So it's a pretty significant part of the game.
So if you are terrible at stealth games, like Mr. Mighty Mango, you will find it very difficult.
Yeah, and if you're bad at stealth games and you're bad at strategy games, I think you're kind of in trouble. I would say.
big trouble.
Because I am not good at strategy games. Like, I enjoyed XCOM, but I didn't beat it even on the easiest setting because I just got frustrated and I kept dying. And in this game, I died on the third encounter. So,
Yep, I died on the second.
yeah.
And tried over and over and over again.
So I don't think the game is necessarily easy.
No, not at all.
But it does feel very well polished, I would say.
Yeah, I think the production value is very high, minus the font. When you go into the Ark that you get to, I think they call it the Ark, the little town area.
Mm-hmm.
All the character fonts is very small. It's hard to read.
Interesting. I didn't know. It didn't bother me. I didn't notice that, but
Let's see, well, I know I have old man eyes and all, but it just seemed hard to read. It was a little bit too small of a font. I think the font size could be better, a little bit bigger.
interesting. Okay.
And that's on a 4K TV, 55-inch. So
Yeah. So
it's not like I'm looking at a small TV, and I wasn't sitting that far away, maybe 8 feet. So
interesting. Okay. Maybe it is just your old man eyes.
I don't know. It looks small to me.
All right. Hey, fair enough. So,
But it's pretty otherwise.
yeah, I think it's a really pretty looking game. You play as mutants, unsurprisingly, based on the title. The one thing that I felt was pretty lazy about this game is that one of the characters that you play as is a duck, and his name is Ducks.
Yeah.
And I thought, and then the other character that you start with, he's a boar, and his name is like I'm not gonna get it wrong.
I forget what his name is.
Boris or Boron or something like that.
The names are very lazy, and you can't change them.
I'm like, what the? Like, they didn't try at all. But, like, anyway, but like we're talking about, the presentation is really, really good. The graphics are really pretty. I thought it feels like a AAA game to me. I don't know the studio well enough to say that they're big or not, but it definitely feels like it's got that sort of production value behind it.
Well, this is the only game on TA that they've done.
Okay. Yeah. And I guess Mutant Year Zero is traditionally I think a paper RPG game.
I think you are correct.
And
I think so.
This was spun off of that. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's talk about the achievements because these are interesting.
So, yeah, the achievements. So, we've got 19,190 track gamers have played this, and I'm going to say mostly that's probably because of Game Pass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And only 31 have completed it.
Yeah.
So the TA ratio is really high. It's worth 6,300 TA.
Yeah, it is worth noting that it's the game is worth 1470 Gamerscore.
Correct.
And so there is a couple of, are they updates or are they paid?
I think there was DLC for it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's an add-on,
Yep.
but I don't see a price. But
There is DLC and there's a title update with one achievement worth 10 Gamerscore.
yep.
So that's
But it's the TA ratio in that game, that one achievement is 16.67.
yeah. Yeah, so it looks like, I mean, even if you account for the Game Pass inflation, it looks like it's probably a pretty challenging completion.
It does have Iron Man difficulty,
Okay.
is what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's permadeath.
Yeah, so we literally wouldn't have made it past the first mission.
No,
if we had.
we would have been completely dead.
So yeah, I would say if you are, and like we talked just a couple weeks ago about Achtung, and it's interesting that here we are again, another strategy game.
Another strategy game.
But I would definitely put this, I think, above that in terms of quality. And I would say, again, the same sort of advice that I gave in that one. If you're a fan of the genre, if you like XCOM, that sort of stuff, I think there's a lot here. And I think...
I totally agree. I think it's a very deep game.
Yeah.
Very deep.
Yeah.
But
But
again, not our cup of tea.
and it's frustrating when you lose so quickly. You know, especially when you pick easy mode, and then you're still running into walls right away. It's like, oh god, this isn't good for me. But
Yeah, well, all strategy games need to be like Command and Conquer. Then I'm okay. I can do that. But at this game,
Command and Conquer from like what is it, 25 years ago at this point?
well, yeah, or Red Alert or something like that. Yeah, I think are they 25 years? Yeah, I
Maybe.
suppose about 25.
Close to it, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else we want to go over? Because I was kind of quick, but there's.
I don't think so. But yeah, if you're into this type of strategy, the XCOM type games, want something a little bit different. I don't really. I mean, the game itself is deep. I'm not going to say that the story is deep. because your only goal is to get to Eden by going through things.
Yeah.
But it's a decent game. It just
the story, I felt I didn't get, I didn't beat the game or anything like that, but from what I could tell, the story did feel a little generic. Although I think, and like the world was just sort of generic post-apocalyptic kind of world, but the characters are neat, and
even if they're lazily named,
just that was like it. It's lazy in general, but it sticks out like a sore thumb in a game of this high quality that's been written very well. Like that just sticks right out. So, Oh, we should mention it's Play Anywhere, so you can play it on your computer if you want.
Play it on PC too.
And obviously it's in Game Pass. So yeah, even if you're not huge into this or you never tried it, you could just give it a shot if you have Game Pass because that's what it's for.
Yeah. And it is completable, where Octoon had the one achievement that didn't work. This one actually you can finish.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're looking for not necessarily some quick TA, but some juicy TA, you're gonna get it in this game.
Yeah, I think according to TA, the official estimate completion says 20 to 25, but I've seen other estimates because of the Iron Man difficulty close to 60 hours. So
yeah,
so definitely a lot of work to be put in this one.
But you could probably do worse, I imagine. So,
I think so.
All right. Well, that was Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden, and we'll hand it back to you guys.
All right. Thanks, Brew. Thanks, Mighty Mango, for that review of Mutant Year Zero. We're going to go into what we've been playing for this week. So, Kirby, you're up first. What have you been doing?
Well, I've had a reasonably eventful week, copying images and putting them in the Discord. So that was good. In reality, I've played video games. I played both of Sometimes Use brand new games. One has not released. I don't actually know if A Winter's Dream is out yet. But we got a review code, and I can't wait till someone else plays it. Neither of them are out yet. One comes out on the 8th, I think the other comes out on the 9th. A Winter's Daydream is a game where, it's a visual novel for a start. So static images, lots of text. The thing about this one is it's actually probably closer to call it a kinetic novel, in that
so no choices.
There's no choices. Yeah, I set my Cronus up to turbo the A button, and about half an hour later, I had all the achievements.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you? So you don't even get to pick a waifu or anything?
No,
you just
you just read the story. There's also, if you want, there are options to autoplay, and you set the text to max speed, so you can start it and then walk away for about an hour to 2 hours, and it will complete itself. So even if you don't have a turbo controller, you can set it overnight, and it'll complete itself.
Well, I know what I'm doing for my 1.2 million.
Yeah, it's
The game that plays itself. I've gotten so lazy.
I mean, there are a few on the PlayStation where you hold down R1 to speed through it quickly. I don't think any of them have an autoplay option though. But this is my first time experiencing this. It was really, really odd. But yeah, so look forward to that on the 8th of October. Yeah, we got a review code for it though, so someone will get to do that officially.
Yeah. I'll dive on that grenade. All right.
The other one I've been playing.
Wait, if we got a review code, is it Sometimes You that locks the second account out from getting achievements? Or is that Rattle?
No, Sometimes You, but I don't. It's to do with home console, not home console, and yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not. It's like $6 US though, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one I've been playing by them is Stellatum. It is a twin stick space shooter, so it's slowly scrolling. You're moving up in the scrolling. I think that means it's scrolling downwards. Lots of enemies, lots of bullets. About 10 missions in, I realized there was a difficulty setting, and I swapped it to easy, and then proceeded to do 3 more missions. You just sort of, you just shoot things. It's really simple. It's not quick. I think I was maybe after about 13 missions, I'd completed one of the first story achievement. But I don't even think I was a quarter of the way through the levels, so there's maybe 50 or 60 levels. And they're all like I feel like 5 or more minutes long of just holding down the right trigger and pointing. It's really boring and easy. Like, there's some games that are easy and you kind of... This is just like... Just have something else on the background and you can watch the other thing. This could be on in the background, this game, while you do something else and you're playing it. And you'd be fine. Like,
it's the office of video games.
Yeah. So, look, it'll be... Eventually I'll complete it, but it's not the most entertaining thing I've done ever in my life, ever. Encleverment Experiment. I dived this for the Bean Dive and sort of went back to it, had a look at the achievements, started to play through it, started to go through the single-player campaign, which is just beating the opponents. Relatively easy puzzles. There's one puzzle that I absolutely get stumped on every single time, and it's the fraction pi puzzle. And it's just fractions. You see one picture of pi, and it might be minus another section of pi, and you have to work out how much pi is left. And, like, I have bad spatial sense to begin with, but trying to visualize how much of the pi is gone and how much is remaining, I'm awful at it. If it had given actual fractions, no problem, easy, whatever. I don't know, having the picture of the pi, I can't tell if it's 3/4 or if it's, I don't know, 9/16. Like, I don't know.
Two-thirds.
Yeah, it's just not, I don't know. And it could be just me having a terrible time with this, but whenever it comes up, I just am absolutely stumped. Everything else easy. The math problems, the puzzle, like the maze, the finding the odd one out, the remembering stuff, simple. This stupid fraction puzzle, and I'm like, X. I was wrong. What a surprise. Like it, I'm terrible at it. There is multiplayer, I believe, so at some point, if there's anyone else who has the game and wants to do the multiplayer, I think it's only 2-person, like, required, so nice and easy, but hit me up.
I don't think I have it, but I might look at it.
Well, useless to me. Yeah, Planting 42. You've definitely got it. And I definitely know you exist, so... What, have you done the multiplayer? Damn it. Of course you have. That's what everyone would do first. But, if anyone who's not on my friends list has it and wants to do the multiplayer and knock it out real quick, easy does it. Smash it out. I finished up Ashes Cricket with the help of Alex San over there. We good to 5 online matches, and I helped him get some achievements that were related to. I had to get stumped by him and stuff, and took him a while to figure out what he was doing, because he's not very good at the game.
Oh, I'm pretty good at it.
But no, I got my grind done, did my 2,500 runs and 200 wickets, and got the luck-based one of the reversing an umpire's decision. And that's just...
How's that?
Yeah. Constantly throwing...
I did that. I got that this week as well. I was... I'd try and bowl it so that it was very close to missing the stump, and hope that when you appealed for LBW, that the umpire would say, nah. Then when you appealed it would go. But I reckon it took me about 10 challenges to get it.
Yeah. I kept not doing it. I kept challenging and not getting it for a long time, and then I got it once, and then every time, I just kind of challenged to get rid of the challenge so it would stop popping up. Every single time I was reversing his decision.
Yeah, I had a few in a row after I got the first one.
I was like, of course, it's the
Umpire's just sick of you at that point.
People outside of Australia, New Zealand, and England are just like, what's LBW?
No, it's literally just America. I think Canada have a team. I think Canada were in the World Cup.
Do they?
Probably.
Okay.
I've been watching the Rugby Union World Cup. I think it's the World Cup. That's on at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah. Watched Argentina play Tonga. Destroy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, Argentina very good.
What?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Argentina play. Sorry, go.
It was like Japan ripped Ireland apart, which was a point of contention.
Yeah, it's
in my household.
No, yeah, Argentina, very good team. They have what do we have here? Our rugby union league. I think we have 2 Argentinian teams in our big league that goes like with the English and the Welsh and all that. So yeah, no, Argentina, solid squad. Moving on.
So back to Ashes cricket. How long did that take you?
Actually, I can probably check how long the grind took me, because I basically got the appeal at the start of my grind. That happened at 2.
I reckon I've just started the 3rd match, or maybe finished the 3rd match in my first Ashes campaign.
Yeah. So the grind
with the men.
The grind took me. I would have got it at 6:30 if I didn't leave for the gym, or close enough to 6:30. So grind would have took me 4 hours, and the rest of the game, so about 8 hours, I'd say.
Oh, okay. So worth starting then.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at my time, it says 27 hours and 45 minutes, but that was the whole overnight debacle. So
Yep.
we can't believe those times. Those are lies. I've been playing lots. I started Goner, which is a roguelite platformer run and gun game, because it went Games Pass recently, so the TA has inflated massively. I haven't progressed far only because there's a weapon that you unlock that is sort of considered the best weapon in the game, or like the most useful for the most part. So you get your currency by having combos of kills. So every 5 kills within a short time frame gets you your currency. You get to the shop right before the boss in each of your, I think there's 5 worlds. In each of the worlds, you get to the boss, the shop right before the boss. What you're supposed to do is, because there's items available in the shop, you go to the shopkeep and you spend one of your currency to re-roll the items. You're supposed to do that till you have no money left, and then the weapon will show up, and then there's mushrooms hanging from the ceiling that you can get a combo of 5 with to get a currency and purchase that weapon. Now, nowhere have I seen it say that this weapon shows up like RNG based. Everywhere seems to say it always shows up, except when I'm doing it. Because
Jeez, RNG's himself can't even get it.
I don't know if it's RNG or not, or if there's some other prerequisite that I haven't done because I keep... Because you also use a currency when you die, you can spend it to come back to life at that stage. But because I'm always spending the currency in the shop trying to get this item, I die later on and don't have enough currency to continue. So I keep trying for this item, and it's not showing up, and therefore I have no currency to take into the next room. Because once I've unlocked it, I can start the run with it. Because there's only like six weapons or whatever. So you can start your runs with it, and I don't have to keep trying to get it. So I thought maybe it's gonna be one of those things where I have to play without spending it, but the one time I don't do it is when it would have shown up, kind of deal. And I don't want it to happen, so I'll keep re-rolling it, trying to get it, and it won't show up, and yeah. So, only got a few achievements in that, but probably gonna smash it out this week, because, if you know what you're doing, it sort of takes like 4 to 5 hours, but it's reasonably difficult. Lots of Ori of the Blind Forest on the Switch. Playing on easy mode, I tried to do my speed run and no upgrade run, sort of in one go. So I restarted a couple times because I changed my mind about what I was going to do. Started this run. The speed run is for under 3 hours. I beat the game today at like 3 hours and 10 minutes. So, but I know it's way quicker with upgrades, so I'm not that bothered. And now that I've completed the game with no upgrades, I'm going to go back and backtrack and get all the 100% map unlock and all the abilities and all that stuff. So then it'll just be my speed run, my hard mode, and doing the one life mode where the save wipes if you die. So shouldn't be too bad. That one life mode will probably take me a week to do and try and remember just to get that perfect run. But I mean, I think I can't really use this as an accurate guide of how many times I died because I wasn't upgrading. There are things where when you create a save point, you get more health, and that's an upgrade. That's like the first upgrade in one of the skill trees, so you're almost certainly going to have that. So a lot of times I died because I was trying to get through a section on 2 health where I probably would have had way more in a realistic 1 life mode situation. So I think I ended up with about probably maybe 6 or 7 deaths that were because I stuffed up, as opposed to I just had a battle of attrition that I was losing. And then just before the podcast and during the start of the podcast, I was playing and finished up Deity Through Time. Got all my achievements in that. One of the achievements is for using the time freeze power-up, which if you're playing on easy mode, the time doesn't go, so you don't get that power-up. And it took me till nearly the end to figure that out, so I had to just turn it off, turn it back onto normal mode, use the power-up, quit back out, and turn it back on easy mode to finish it up. And had a lovely glitch where 2 of my workers got stuck in a portal. Luckily, I had a 3rd one, but yeah, they were not having a good time. Or they were having a good time. It looked like they were having fun. So, I don't know. I'll be moving on to Royal Road next. That'll be super duper exciting. But I've finished the week on 3,390 Gamerscore.
Pretty good.
Yes. Next week's going to be bad with PAX, though. Once PAX hits.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking that too, actually. Just a bit of a quiet week for me. I've only played 2 games this week. So I played Ages of Mages, which was...
Is it any good?
It's actually...
Nicole wants to play it with me, and I'm like, I don't know if you would like a twin-stick shooter.
It's more of, think Castle Crashers, but with wizards. Like, it's almost like the first couple levels are almost shamelessly Castle Crashers. Like, it's almost that exact same premise, exact same, level design. It's a little bit... It's definitely... The game's made for co-op, and I don't think it scales as far as I can tell, so it's definitely worth playing with someone else. I played through almost all of it by myself, and there are bits where I struggle a little bit. You do have to grind a little bit to make sure. I think level 40 is the top level once you unlock all the skills, or somewhere around there. I played as a fire mage. I would say that's probably the one to go for. Otherwise, the lightning one looks pretty good. I'm actually on the very
that
last.
Sound a lot like Castle Crashers.
Yeah, it's so much like Castle Crashers. It's fine. It's a good enough game. It's not too difficult. There are some frustrating bits where they don't give you a lot of health, regen items. It's kind of luck of the draw of whatever the enemies drop. Occasionally they'll drop food. There's not a lot of shops. The game doesn't feel super fleshed out. It feels like it's missing bits, or it was made it feels like a 0.8 or a 0.9 as opposed to a 1.0 version. But other than that, I think the game's fine. It's easy enough. It's a bit longer than I was expecting. I'm on the final level, so the third to last level is a very long level called Dragon's Lair, where you have to fight through a bunch of enemies and then fight a boss at the end. And if you die on the boss, you got to do the whole level again. So that's not so much fun. But then after that, it's just a relatively easy boss fight. And then the last level is a escort quest, which I'm having so much fun with.
Oh, yeah, they're my favorite.
Yeah, so you have to get the princess and the king to the end of the level, and there's just enemies everywhere, and they just keep running into things. And obviously, you can tell that the level design is built for co-op. So one person goes one fork, one person goes the other to fight off the other enemies. But it's just me by myself, trying to throw fireballs at as many enemies as possible. It's a pretty good game, but I think you really do have to play it co-op. But otherwise, it's relatively easy. The TA is pretty high on it. I only got stuck on maybe 2 or 3 levels. So I would, if you picked it up on sale, get into it. Help me inflate my TA. Excuse me. The main thing that I've been playing this week is Hitman Season 1. I think was it 2016 this came out? It was the episodic one that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2016 or 15.
It was around there.
Yeah, I've had it for ages.
Games with gold last month too, I think.
2016.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I bought it well before then, actually, when it was on sale for some ridiculously good amount. and I was like, oh yeah, I love the other. I've played all the other Hitman games. I did 2 in Contracts and Blood Money and Absolution.
Oh, Blood Money, great game.
Blood Money's fantastic. That opera level is still my favorite.
Oh, you dropped the piano.
No, you was where you swap out the gun for the real gun on the stage place where he shoots the guy, and then when the guy runs down, he trips and you drop the chandelier on him, and it just looks like it was all a big massive accident.
Oh, the chandelier. It's not a piano, is it? It's a chandelier.
Yeah, it's chandelier. Yeah.
And there's a random dude hanging out at the top of the clock tower, or whatever it is. Yeah. Man, that Heaven and Hell party level, that one, I reckon that's awesome.
I still think one of the best ones though is where you just feel like the smartest person in the world is when you're in there's that rooftop, there's that mountainside mansion party happening. So you just come in the boat and you look up and you can see the guy sitting there in the hot tub with all the chicks, and it's a glass top, it's a glass bottom thing. So you just aim your sniper rifle up at it, shoot it, and they all just fall down the side of the mountain, and you just turn around and walk straight out of the level. I mean, you don't get
multiple targets.
Oh no, it's a single target for that one.
Yeah, because I did that, and I'm like, oh no, now I need to go and get the other person, and everyone's trying to kill me.
That and the Mardi Gras level are really good, where you get to dress up as a bird.
Oh yeah, the crow. Yeah, was it a crow? I don't know. I always thought. I think it was a crow.
I think it is a crow. Yeah, but this one, it's a lot less obtuse. Because I think that the good and bad thing about the original Hitman game is that there was a optimal path. If you knew what to do, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and just tick it off and just time it perfectly, and everything would go great. Whereas this is a lot more like, okay, we're going to throw you into a world. It's basically a clockwork world where it just goes around on a rotation. So, target A goes to 3 different locations, does this conversation, and then repeats over and over again. And then target B does a similar one. And then basically it's just you saying, okay, here's some opportunities for things that you can interact with. You can turn them off if they're too obvious for you. I don't really mind because it means you get to see the fun stuff. And it's like, okay, throw the spanner in, see what happens. So it's like, okay, so I did the original training mission is, okay, you walk in there and you find out the Soviet guy is he's a defector. He's going to defect to the Soviets. He's going to fly out of there in a
fighter jet.
What is a jet? Yeah, fighter jet. Thank you. Yep. And so it's like, okay, I could just shoot him in the head, or I could take out one of the mechanics and go through the pre-fight check and turn the ejector seat on. So when he tests it, he just gets launched out into space and die, basically. And it looks like, and it's so funny. It's hilarious because that's a training mission as well. So everything looks like plywood. So it's like you obviously just like totally murdered a guy for a training mission, but whatever, it's fine. They just gloss over it. But it's absolutely like it's Hitman's sense of humor is so it's like this amazing dark comedy where it takes itself kind of seriously, but it's obviously like a massive satire. But it doesn't like wink at you at all. It never goes, ha ha ha, this is a joke. It just says, okay, here's a situation. Here's some ridiculous stuff that's going to happen. Just go for your life, and here's a bunch of opportunities you can try. So I finished the training mission. I did about half of the Paris mission, which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I did like that there's a runway show, and you basically, one of the kills is you can just drop the entire light fixture on top of the entire runway and just kill everyone in the vicinity. Not very stealthy, but does the job. I did a little bit of that, but I still have a few more to go on there. I got through Sapienza, which I think is my favorite, because there's one where you basically set it up so that your target is looking through a telescope, and you just snipe him right through the telescope, right through his eye.
Oh, I've seen a clip of that, actually, yeah.
It's great. Yes, it's that. And then there's also replacing his golf ball with an explosive, so when he hits it, he just explodes. You shoot him with a cannon. You can shoot him in the leg and set off an alert, so he runs away. It gets on his seaplane, and if you time it just right, you can shoot the plane out of the air with one of the other cannons.
I think that's an achievement. Is that an achievement? Or?
Yeah, if you do all 3 of those, and I think one of them is like you dress up as his therapist, and he sits on the couch and complains about his life, and then you just smother him to death with a pillow.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's absolutely like hilariously messed up. So I did the Sapienza level, and I just got finished with Marrakesh and Bangkok today. The Marrakesh one is also hilarious because it's basically just throwing shade at the Swedes for like an hour because this guy's hiding in the Swedish embassy, and then of course the Swedish embassy has a massage room, and like they loudly announce it. It's like, yes, can you please go to the massage room? Your massage therapist is here. I was like, yeah, of course. Every Swedish embassy would have a massage parlor. Why not?
Oh, when you said that, I just thought of Julian Assange, but I'm like, hang on a minute, he's not Swedish, is he?
No, well, he is, but yes, that was kind of that was the base. The whole WikiLeaks thing was the basis for it. He's hiding in the Swedish embassy. Well, he was hiding in the Ecuadorian embassy, but yes,
yeah, same diff.
It's
Ecuador, Sweden, basically the same country.
Well, I loved it too because it was when you walk outside, just some of the ambient conversations you hear people just talking about stuff. Like there was a Trump reference in one of them. One of them was at the embassy. The guy's like, "Oh, thanks, National Guard for coming and saving us in Morocco. We're not Denmark. We're not used to these sort of international incidents." And I'm just thinking, wow, just throwing shade on every Scandinavian country. And so I just got done with the Bangkok level before we did this. I killed my 2 targets by dropping coconuts on them. That was good. I managed to. One of the challenges was it's the guy's 27th birthday, and he's a rock star, so he's going to join the 27 club. So one of the challenges was to just...
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so I brought him his birthday cake, and the thing you're supposed to do is poison it and just leave, and he dies. But I decided that the other challenge is to, in front of everyone, when they're singing Happy Birthday while he's blowing out the candles, is to just take his head and just drown him in his own cake. Just completely like in front of all these horrified people who are screaming. You just run up to him and you just smash his face into a cake until he dies. That game is fantastic. So I've still got Colorado and Hokkaido I think left to do, and I think there's a bonus mission as well. Yeah. But it's a fantastic game, and the walkthrough on TA is also very, very good. Definitely recommend using that. TA is good on it. It's like it was way better than I was expecting because I was a little bit cautious because Absolution was not super great. I liked it for what it was, but it was very much not a Hitman game. And trying to go back and play the
first Hitman game. That's what I felt when I was playing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like they had those little open sections, but so much of it was just corridor stuff. And to be fair, trying to go back to the older ones like 2 and Contracts and Blood Money to some extent, you can tell that those games have not aged super well. So I really feel like this is a nice sort of good middle point where even someone who's not super familiar with it, they handhold you enough to give you an idea of how the opportunities would work and how to set things up when you're not used to it. But then you can go off and experiment on your own. So I'm going to finish that up probably this week. And then I might look into playing Season 2. We'll see how it goes. But that's me this week, just 2,090 points.
All right. Well, I didn't play many things this week. But what I did play, What the Box. So Kirby hopped on for about, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and helped me finish that up. Yeah. It's got the last few achievements. So it's like an arena-based shooter kind of game where you're a box and there are boxes everywhere. Everyone's a box. And, you win by getting more kills. But the thing is, the boxes all look like all the other boxes. So... yeah.
Funny that. Wouldn't have expected the boxes to look like other boxes.
They look exactly the same as all the other boxes.
And you get a gun so you can bang the box.
Yeah. I don't know, it's not a great game. There's not much in the way of depth to it. It felt like it'd be a fun party game for about 5 minutes and then you'd be like, yeah, alright, let's play something else. But thank you, Chin, for helping me out with that.
The problem with that being a party game is that everyone would need a console because otherwise you would just screen cheat as to which
Yeah, but is screen cheating all everywhere looks the same because there's all boxes everywhere.
It does not look that. Oh, I mean, yeah. If
a lot of it does.
If you
it's all boxed in, yeah.
I did. Okay. I also played Bouncy Bullets. So I bought this one ages ago when it was on. I think it was on its release sale for 10 or 20% off. So it's a Ratalaika game. We love those around here. I enjoyed it while I played it. It's speedrunning, platforming, first-person game. I played it for maybe half an hour, got all the achievements. So the idea is to get from where you start through the portal at the end of the level, and you run through, platforming and avoiding lasers and enemies. It's pretty easy. I did it in about half an hour, but it's fun for the time you're playing the game. It's not a bad game. Sorry, were you about to say something about that?
I was just saying, yeah, okay, actually, that's like, from what I've heard about it, I was like, okay, that's not quite what I was expecting. That sounds pretty good, actually. It's like Mirror's Edge, but Baby's First Mirror's Edge.
Baby's First Lovely Planet.
Oh, okay, right, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. It's very colourful, You're running around, you're going between the platforms, the enemies are shooting at you, so, you can see how it has the replayability for getting the leaderboard times, but that's not what I'm there for. Give me the achievements and get off my console, thank you. The last game that I played was Ashes Cricket. So I actually ended up playing this last weekend, and I only really played it because my friend Beachy came over. We moved a few things around that day, and after dinner we were like, well, let's play something. And we normally play Rocket League, but all he does is play 1 versus 1 in Rocket League, and he kills me almost every time. It does my absolute head in. So we played some Ashes Cricket against each other, and I beat him 3 matches in a row. But we played the 3 matches one after each other, and neither of us had played it. So we're kind of learning the controls, and some of the controls are put on the screen, and some of them are not for different things that you can do. But it's actually, from not a fan of sports games like myself, I actually really enjoyed playing cricket. We're only playing 10 over games, but sometimes we're all out before the 10 overs were gone. Sometimes we weren't. We played for maybe an hour and a half for 3 games.
Oh no! I love it.
I love it.
All I can think of there is Mighty Boosh, and I'll send you. You definitely won't have seen it, Alex. So I'll send the clip on this.
I've never watched it.
But
all right, I'll watch it later.
And that's why I don't like cricket. No,
are you laughing back because you've seen it?
It's great.
Yeah, I have seen it. Yeah, I love Mighty Boosh.
Well, I ended up doing the online, like we said earlier. Kirby helped on, and we did that. The other thing I wanted to mention is Hutton90, member of the community, has written the top review for that game. And I saw what do they call it? When it pops up on your side panel, the tagline, is it? Seems to be pretty good. And I had a quick squiz over the rest of it. Kind of explains what cricket is in the context of reviewing a cricket game, because
I was going to say it's probably needed for the TA community. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's a good review. It's a good game. There's a few rough edges around it, like when it tells you to press certain buttons for things. It's actually a different button to press. I reckon I saw one or two of those
in the tutorial.
Where it was like telling me to. No, maybe it was in the tutorial. But I saw it once or twice, and I'm like, yeah, it's not X to proceed though; it's A to proceed.
Oh, something like that. Okay.
And it has like the writing down the bottom that's black, but it's on a dark background. And you like put white writing on there, Just a few things that I saw.
Maybe they just had to translate it from PlayStation.
Maybe, but they also it gets a bit glitchy at times as well. There was a number of times when I was playing with Beachy and I got him out, and his batsman would teleport 10 meters away from the crease, and I was just like, what's going on there? Anyway. It's a good game. And like Kirby said a couple of weeks ago, very easy TA score. So hop on there. You can play most of it against your second controller. You can do the online very quickly. Good game. But I have hit 1,855 Gamerscore for the week. And the sale dropped earlier today, so we'll have a quick chat about some of the games that are on sale. The new games of gold have rolled over. So Bolt on the Xbox 360 is out, and Tembo the Badass Elephant is out on the Xbox One. Now, Kirby, I know you like talking about these Gamerscore games. What? Were you
again,
trying to troll me now? What happened?
No, I thought of another thing. I'll put it in the Discord. It's fine.
Is it a big Mighty Bush again?
No, it's not. It's suicide is badass, but it's not. I'm gonna cut that, but it's just again a clip I thought of as soon as you said badass. That's all I could think of. It's great. You should really watch that in your spare time. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah, Gamerscore games. Not very good, but very cheap. Albedo, Eyes from Outer Space, is 80% off and $2.79. Deep Ones is 50% off, $2.49. Drunk Foo, Wasted Masters, is 25% off, $7.49. Gnome's Garden 3, The Thief of Castles. Didn't know that had a tagline. This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Did you finish the game before they put a tagline on it?
Yeah, I may have done that. They don't have any kind of PR whatsoever. They don't even have like a Twitter account. They've got a Facebook page.
Hey, sure, look, they'll take it.
Yeah, I think that's their official page. They don't have like a website. It's just a Facebook page. It's great. It's 60% off, $1.99. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is 50% off, $14.99. Layers of Fear, 75% off, $4.99. And Quantum of Break, 75% off, $9.99. Host recommendations.
Did you say Quantum of Break?
Did I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Kit Kat?
You're thinking
you need a
Quantum
break?
of Solace, the James Bond movie?
It could have been.
Or... Okay. All right.
Host recommendations.
Okay, so I'll say yes. I will recommend. I will recommend.
Recommendation.
I will recommend 2 games. So I'm going to go with DMC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition. I don't know why it's DMC Devil May Cry. It's DMC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition.
It's
67,
That's fantastic.
67% off, $9.89. Great game. I know people got on Ninja Theory's case about this because it was different from the other ones, but I'm probably going to put myself out there a bit, but I actually prefer these than the other traditional ones. Come at me. And then the other one
right?
that I want...
Not Dante. This one?
This one had Dante, but with the black hair instead of the white hair.
Yeah, okay.
And then you played as Virgil in the DLC. It was different and obviously a lot easier. Like they simplified the systems down quite a bit, but I actually quite enjoyed the sort of stylistically, the sort of They Live style stuff with the hidden worlds of all the demons controlling the humans through like soft drink and weird TV shows and the whole Fox News thing.
Yep. Yeah. I think I'm confusing with Devil May Cry 3.
Yes, I think so, yeah. And then Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered, which is bad enough pun that I...
Title.
Oh, it's perfect. I love it. 67% off, $9.89. For that price, I would probably just pick it up. It's a great game. Also, I need some people to play online with, so pick it up.
Do they still have the same achievements from the Xbox 360 version?
Yes, although the online ones, they've simplified, I think, a little bit. So you don't they're not quite as grindy as they were.
Stink.
Yeah.
They were terrible.
Yeah.
I've got recommendations for the Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker. Man, I played this because you recommended it, Chin. What an excellent game. It's 40% off. It's $7.79. I mentioned when I played it, it's a little bit tedious to play, but the story is so worth it. Make sure you get a chat pad or make sure you connect your smart glass for remote control to play it, though. You did post a link somewhere to the live show.
I think I sent it to you, but it was like a not direct from this game. Like it was a side story within the universe.
I watched it.
Yeah,
I watched the whole thing. Yeah, 2 hours.
Good,
really good. Yeah. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, in the same vein as Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, there's like Chin said, a side character. I don't think she's mentioned in the actual game, but she's come to see Dr. Decker, and Dr. Decker is away which if you play Dr. Deck, you'll find out maybe where he's gone. But she has a tablet in front of her and is like, oh, you talk to this panel of doctors, which is the streaming audience.
Oh.
And the streaming audience asks her questions, which is very similar to the gameplay of the actual game. And she picks and chooses the questions to answer. So there's obviously a lot of questions coming because there's a lot of people in the chat. And it advances the story. You find out about her, what's going on with her, and all that kind of stuff. I actually thought it was really well done, which to do something live like that would be a lot of improvisation and pretty difficult. But they actually did a really good job of it. So that's the first one there. Easy Gamerscore as well. And the other one, Quantum Break, 75% off, $9.99. I really, really enjoyed Quantum Break. I know that people say it's not the best game and, it falls in Alan Wake's shadow. I don't know. I think it's a really good game. They tried something really interesting with the TV shows in between the episodes. I really liked it. I don't think everyone did. If you're Chin, you skipped it. But which is weird because you spent 50 gigabytes downloading it.
Well, that's because one of the achievements would break without it.
Oh,
The stream-
I never had a problem with that.
At least as far as I'm aware, there's some issue with the streaming of the episodes that causes one of the achievements to get locked out. So you have to download it so that you don't stream it because they're downloaded.
Oh, I streamed it. I got everything. So maybe I was lucky.
When did you do it though?
Let me look it up. I'll go back to you.
Like
Tell everyone
2017
what
or something.
were,
like a while ago is
maybe.
what I mean. I think it's in the last 12 months, I want to say. So my two recommendations, because everyone's doing two, and I decided to find two. The 8th Floor Strategic Collection. There's Gnome's Garden, Gnome's Garden 2, Gnome's Garden 3, Gnome's Garden 4, New Home, Day D Through Time, Royal Roads, and Lost Artifact Soulstone is 30% off, $13.99. That's everything except their brand new Gnome's Garden 5, The Lost King. So you're basically getting everything except their new title for $14. Great set of games. 3 of them have easy modes where you can't fail. The other ones I didn't think were too difficult, but some levels you just need to take a couple goes and you work it out. The other game I want to recommend is Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. It is 50% off and $9.99. It comes with both the Definitive Edition version and it comes also with, hopefully, it doesn't say it anymore. Oh no, let me just look at this in incognito mode because I'm logged in. It says I already own it. Pretty sure it comes with the original version.
You've said that on a previous show.
It hasn't.
It comes with both.
It has in
It
the
used to.
past. It doesn't seem to indicate that it does now. But someone buy it and let me know.
Is that the one that's in the Games Pass?
Yes, the Definitive Edition is in Game Pass. I'm still recommend you buy it because we should support developers who make fantastic games. I know I'm going to buy Will o' the Wisps despite it being in Game Pass. I'll probably maybe not straight away just because I want to play it straight away, but we'll see. But no, it's a great game. I'm loving it on the Switch. It looks fantastic. And everyone should buy it. Everyone. All of you.
Yeah, I need to go back and finish them up.
Yeah.
I'm turning my Xbox on so I can have a look because I've
At what?
at Ori.
Oh.
I've downloaded the Game Pass one, but I haven't booted it up. So, when you boot it up, should you be going to a menu screen to pick between them? Or
No, they're two separate tiles. It used to be that when you purchased the Definitive Edition, you would also purchase the old version. So there'll be a blue one and a... so if you go into the store and search Ori and the Blind Forest, you should be able to install the blue one because you have Game Pass. But, Matt, I see you've got two purchases here. Do you have, just before you go into them, do you have Game Pass Ultimate?
I do.
Okay. Both of those are in there. You're aware of that, right?
Really? I mean, to be fair, I've never fired up basically a single game on my PC because I think my laptop would explode.
Yeah, both of those are in there, and the. That's right. You go. What games would you have bought before you knew this?
Well, okay. Realistically, these are ones I just want to play. Then,
Yeah.
I want to play through Age of Empires Definitive Edition on Windows 10 and Sunset Overdrive on Windows 10 as well, and they're both $9.99.
Yep, and it has no multiplayer.
Which is exactly it's the one thing I don't like about that game. So perfect.
Yeah. I would recommend though with Age of Empires Definitive Edition, like looking up a reseller and seeing if you can get the old version, just because then you can double stack it and go in one go. Yeah. Alex, what do you think you're going to buy?
Just before I get to that, I'm looking at Ori and the Blind Forest in the store.
The blue tile?
It says, the blue one, not the definitive edition. It says Ori and the Blind Forest is currently not available. You can only get it by redeeming a code.
Ooh, interesting.
So, yep.
Okay.
Anyway, my recommendation though, recommendation or purchase? I can't even remember. Purchases. Yes. I'm looking at deep ones. I mean, it's $2.50. It's 50% off. I had a look at the video of it, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to play it though. So, we'll see.
It's an easy enough
game. Doesn't look
game.
very good.
It's not a very good game.
It looks easy, but it looks very bad.
Yep. Accurate.
It's awful. I will say this now. It's awful, and you have to play through it lots of times.
Yeah, all right. Well, then.
Well, you can get around that.
Even the, yeah.
The beating the boss 3 times, you can get around that if you quit out quickly enough.
Yeah. You probably have to be quick at something. Alex, you'll have to play this more than once.
Probably. I'm not quick at the button presses unless it's quitting out for an achievement. Then not every time. Don't worry about it.
Well, kind of. I don't think there's anything in here that I'm going to purchase just because there's nothing I really don't own and am super. Yeah, there's maybe one game that I was kind of considering. Then I went, nah, definitely not. But yeah,
it's a bit of a quiet week.
Yeah, if there was some Super Lucky's Tale DLC, maybe. But no, they just put the game up without. Yeah, no DLC for that.
That's a really good game. I played it in my second month for random to-do list, and I had to get through to World 2 or 3. I really, really enjoyed my time with that. So, that I've played so far. I'm only 2/5 of the way in, but it's good fun so far.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guess that's us all done with what's happening in the sale this week. So, Kirby, you want to take us through any knobs and discos?
Sure. The big one is the Borderlands 3 Get All Achievements achievement is unobtainable. Super broken. What a surprise. That's even big developers like Gearbox stuff up all the time, constantly.
Control C, Control V.
Speaking of tangent to Gearbox and Randy Pitchford, so the Duke Nukem 20th anniversary game has music. It has the original music from the game, which was licensed to Apogee for $1 per purchase. So that was a royalty fee. It was every time someone bought the game, the music creator would get $1. That was how the license worked. They brought that game. Gearbox brought that game to Xbox and wherever else, and did not uphold that license despite using the music, and have said, "Oh, don't worry, we'll recompense you," and then
we'll sort you out.
Proceeded not to do it, and now I think he's looking into litigation.
Yeah, quite rightly.
If you don't own it, and look, there's a fear of it getting delisted, and it's a pretty reasonable fear because it's Gearbox, and why would they do something right now? Yeah, so just maybe get on that if you're ever interested in playing it and you're concerned about it going away. As for other,
it's a really good port. It's a very easy game as well.
Easy list, yeah.
Yeah, 100% easy.
As for more knobs and discos, we have a discontinued flag on NBA 2K19's the 5Ds, which is win a round of dodgeball in the neighborhood in my career. No idea why it doesn't work. Don't know if the game mode's out or something. It's just
Dodgeball, huh?
yeah. Discontinued flag has been added to all of the multiplayer achievements in Space Hulk Tactics, both the Xbox One and Win 10 versions, which is surprising because that came out October last year. It's
Yeah, I was going to say,
old.
that's...
The multiplayer
Wow, okay.
was killed. Servers were shut down, I think. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. NBA 2K20 has an unobtainable in the one-man show, which is to score or assist on half your team's points in a My Career game. It's just not going. Or there's some hidden requirement that people don't know yet, but it's definitely not working. And good news, we'll finish with some good news. Earhart, Tales of Broken Wings, the Army of One achievement for crafting every weapon in the game is fixed, kind of. Essentially, you put in a cheat code and it unlocks that achievement and another one, because it gives you, I think it either gives you all the items or just unlocks it. The cheat code is up, down, left, right, LBRBB. So you just enter that at any point while you're playing the game, and it'll be unlocked. It might be a slight delay, but yeah, interesting, because considering we've chased this up for a while, there's been pushing to try and get this fixed, and then they're like, oh no, we can't fix it. Okay, here's a cheat code. I don't think they've done anything to fix it. I think they've just finally given up and told us the cheat code to unlock it. Yeah.
Perfect.
So that's everything. It's been a busy week.
Alright, we have got a question from Isaac the Gamer, sent through to us on our email as well. Isaac writes in and says, I'm currently going through various stacks of Minecraft, and there are some frustratingly buggy achievements. I hear you, Isaac. Some of those achievements, you do the requirements. Oh, wow, yeah, just reminded me of an answer to this question. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Some of them are real pain in the ass, where you do the thing and like a minute later it pops. It's just really, really delayed, some of them, but yeah, some of them are buggy. So what's the buggiest achievement that you were able to get, and what hoops did you have to jump through to get it? Do either of you two have any answers ready to go?
Yeah. Chen, you want to go ahead?
Nothing jumped out at me. The only thing I can think of was Rise of Insanity, where I had to restart the game, and just because the achievements didn't pop. There's nothing I can think of that was an arduous task to try and get it to unlock properly. I'm sure I have, but I've just purged it from my memory. I'm sure that's exactly...
Do you have the achievement from Halo 4, If They Came to Hear Me Beg?
I don't have that game on my tag.
Oh.
Because...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The only Halo game I have on my tag is Master Chief Collection, and I threw a bean dive, and then immediately went, oh, that's right, I don't like Halo, and just hid it from my game collection and uninstalled it, and... yeah.
I didn't think you had it for the record, but I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
I take it you've got that.
Yeah, I do have it, actually. And it also reminded me of another achievement in a Halo game, Halo Reach. The getting a kill from, getting an assassination from a great height. And there's that part right at the beginning of, it's like the second to last level, where you need to jump off the cliff and and hit the guy from behind and assassinate him while in midair. So you basically had to time it perfectly. And so most of the time you'll just fall down and die, or you'll miss the melee.
Isn't that If They Came to Hear Me Beg?
Is that the one? That is the one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where you, in Halo 4, I think it's Halo 4, you have to run off the cliff and
that's Halo
land
Reach.
on them while holding RB.
Yeah.
Was it Reach?
It was Reach, yeah, that's the one, yeah. That's, yeah.
Oh, man, that achievement sucks. It's just, if you ever think about people that don't understand achievement hunting,
that's
have
the
someone
one.
walk into a room when you're trying to get that achievement.
Yeah, and
Why
then
do you keep running off the cliff? Why do you keep running off the cliff? Because I'm trying to get an achievement. You're an idiot. Yeah.
And you just hear the same,
but I really need this achievement.
And you just hear that same line of dialogue over and over again. It's just burned into my brain.
Yep.
I remember because a lot of the times, like you would do the assassination, like you would finally get it right, and it just wouldn't pop.
Yeah. Yep.
Just
because
nothing
like
would
your
happen.
toe touched the ground,
Yep.
you mistimed it by a tenth of a second. Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, what
Yes.
a pain.
It's a nightmare.
Kirby, do you have one?
No, I just said I basically don't. Do you remember that bit where I said?
No, I wasn't listening. You were talking. I wasn't listening. You know how it works.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
fair
for
enough.
me, certifiable. The achievement certifiable in Rocket League. So you need to get an item. What do they call it when it has like the?
Certified.
Oh,
When it's tracking a specific stat, so like it
yeah.
goal
okay.
scored clear.
Yeah.
So
In
you
saying
have
that,
to get a
I
certified
did have
item.
the same issue. Apparently that's fixed now, but I had that issue.
Me
I
too.
had to do it twice. So what you need to do is you need to get a certified item, so they can be certified like with goal scorer. So when you score enough goals, it changes the title attached to it. I had to do it with 2 items because the first one I got didn't work. I had to level it up. I leveled it up 3 times, didn't work. So I got another item and I leveled it up 4 times and it worked. So apparently it was a bug at the time, but yeah, if it's been fixed now, great. The other thing that I'm thinking of when I was reading that about the buggy achievements is I had Minecraft Pocket Edition for Android, and I think the achievement for traveling over 100 blocks with an ender pearl, I reckon I did that 50 times, and it just didn't work. And I started reading through guides where they're talking about rooting your phone and downloading an older version of Minecraft, and that's how you get the achievement now. And I'm like, nah, surely I'm not going through this. I can't actually remember how I got the achievement. Maybe they updated it and I logged in and got it. But yeah, I mean, I was prepared to go to some lengths to get that one done. While we were talking about this in our private chat, Tarragon actually came in with a few, so he's written a few in here. So Red Faction Gorilla,
Yeah.
not a huge who said, yeah, you got this
Yeah,
one?
I've actually had the same problem actually when I did Red Faction back in the day. It was basically there was a problem.
Oh yes,
the
I remember
gorilla,
you talking about this.
the guerrilla actions. So I think there's 101 guerrilla actions or something like that in the game. Most of them are static, just on the map, but there are ones that come through radio calls. And those radio calls are basically random. Some of them are generated based on the area you're in, but they just come through at random intervals. And there was a really bad bug where if you'd finished the game, the main story, some of the radio missions just didn't spawn anymore. They just stopped. So so I ended up with, and I think Tarragon was the same situation. We ended up with like 98, 99 of them done, and we just had 2 more left that just, and because the radio missions would repeat, so you would get the same one that you'd already finished, and it would just come back over and over again. So it wasn't like nothing was happening. It was actually even more frustrating because you were like, oh, is this the one? No, it's the same one I did for the last 3 hours while I've been sitting here trying to get this done. And it didn't matter whether you did them again or just let them go. Nothing helped until they finally put out a patch for it. But the patch fixed anything for anyone starting a new save. It didn't fix existing saves. So it basically meant you had to start the whole game all over again, which I was not a fan of.
Yeah, no, neither was Tarragon. He's written that here. Actually, I had an issue. I played Red Faction Guerrilla before I had Xbox Live and internet connected to my Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So I finished the campaign, and for some reason I was going through this phase where I tried to keep the space on my hard drive as minimal as possible. So I actually deleted my campaign save after I'd done the achievements. Not these radio missions though, because I'm like, nah, I'm never doing that. But there's an achievement for if you play online with someone and you finish the campaign.
Yep.
I can't get that achievement now because it reads off your save having finished the game.
Oh,
Not
boy.
off the achievement you earned for finishing the game.
That's rough.
So I haven't got that. I haven't got that achievement, which must look really funny. Like when you look at my profile, it's like I've got the achievement for finishing the game. I've got achievements for playing online.
Yeah.
But I don't have an achievement for playing online after finishing the game. Like it must look really stupid.
I always wonder about that. when people look at your achievements and they think, man, how do they get them in this order? Or I wonder how many people actually think about that kind of stuff, because I'm always like, I always feel weird playing or earning achievements out of order in a story thing. You know, like if it's like Halo, I always try to do if I'm doing co-op and you get jumped into someone else's game and you earn mission 5 achievement before mission 1. I always just feel super weird about that. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know, because I'm the only one looking at them most of the time anyway. But it's just like it's a weird OCD thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kirby, this second one here about Final Fantasy VIII, I actually don't understand anything of what's written here. Can you translate?
Yeah, sure. So it's in Japanese.
Or Matt,
no.
you know.
The problem is he's talking about Final Fantasy VIII, and it's been
Final Fantasy VIII is his favourite Final Fantasy.
The most recent one. CD. That's after
Seed.
CD is how I'm going to say it. It's
okay, sure.
Oh, I thought you'd played this and you knew what it meant.
I have. It's been I have physically played 8 in my life, but it's been a while. I haven't played the remaster. 1 second. See, yeah, my brain is... Look, essentially, there's a issue with getting seed rank A, and the only triggers if you haven't lost any seed rank during gameplay, which is very, very easy to do, and only if you gain the rank in the first place in a very specific way. So, you have lots of checkpoint saves and it'll be fine, but it's very, very specific. One that is close to my heart, Rock Zombie. Because, yeah. So, it's a really crappy beat-em-up game that after one of the major Xbox dashboard updates, you can't sign into the game.
Oh, that's this one.
You can, but you can't. You have to, the timing is really specific, but you just have to, mash signing in until it works. Because otherwise you play the game and you're obviously not signed in, so you can't get achievements. And
okay.
It's just
I think I have that game.
Yeah, I have it. I played it for about an hour and a half, and I realized, man, these achievements should be popping now. Oh, I'm not signed in. That's weird. So I haven't tried it in ages, but I doubt it's been fixed. But it's a really specific timing window for signing in, and just, it's not fun at all. Yeah.
Well, last game here that Tarragon's mentioned is Dead or Alive Extreme 2. Not so much a buggy achievement, but abusing a bug in the game in a very tricky way to help unlock achievements more easily. The achievements in the game are about collectibles at its core, and those collectibles cost a ridiculous amount of in-game money. He says, talking 25 plus hours per achievement level of effort. There's a way to cheese the casino games by quickly quitting the game if you lose. However, it only works if you use the unpatched version, and also requires you to put your profile and save on a USB stick and literally pull the stick out while you play, so it cannot save the game properly.
Oh my god.
The patched version of this, fixed this by saving the game before it reveals the results. Even with this particular hack, it still takes several hours to earn enough money to buy everything for one character, and there are 9 characters you need to do this with. That's just the base achievements. You then need to go through and give all your stuff to other characters to make friends with them. So you need to buy your entire set of clothing 8 times over, and each character has to do this. So effectively 9 playthroughs, if you can call it that, earning millions of dollars and buying 8 sets of everything. It's ridiculous. So, lots of fun there.
Yeah, that game. I remember when I first got my 360, I was like, "Oh, this game looks ridiculous. Maybe I'll play it." And then I looked at the achievements, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm not this much of a masochist."
Yeah, I've heard about it a lot, being just ridiculous. All right, so we've got milestones as well. Thanks, Isaac, for writing in about that one. We've got some milestones here. Oh, Kirby's holding up the Dead or Alive Extreme 2 disc.
Yeah.
Have you got the completion?
I have not started it.
Okay. That'd be worth a bit now, wouldn't it?
Not in the case I've got it in. I bought it from EB Games, and it's like I even got they sent a special message. It says, "You've scored some rare stuff. We reached deep into our vault to bring you one of the last of its kind in the entire country. Some of this gear should be in a museum, and while some of these wares may be battle-worn, we thought you'd like to see them for yourself. If you're not 100% happy, return, blah, 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 blah." But, yeah. Super.
Gotta cast it into the fire.
I don't even think it's been put into my console, to be honest, because I know that the dive is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Alright, well, Kirby, you've got the first few milestones here. Do you want to
Do
read out
I?
what people have been up to?
Okay.
Yeah, they've been split up.
Oh, you made them weird.
Made it easy.
Okay. Kushimoose has reached a new milestone for 1,000 games played, while Marsedge has reached his milestone of completing 400 games. Good job, Marsedge.
Message.
Someone whose name we've changed to Dynaball has reached a new milestone for 8,000 achievements won. And someone else is going to continue from here. Matt?
Oh, is it me? Champion
I'm sorry,
gamer
did
and
you
all
make
around
him-
good.
Yeah, did you make him read out his own milestone, you weirdo, Alex?
Why not?
Well,
I
that's
don't
fine.
trust you to read out my milestones.
That's fair, actually.
Just 'cause
Yeah.
they're not worthy.
As we're saying, champion gamer and all around good guy Neomaster has reached a new milestone of 400,000 million achievements. No, 45. No, actually, it's just 45,000 achievements won. But hey, you know what? You you believed it for a second, didn't you? Didn't you?
You're like, wow, didn't think anyone had ever done that. Good job, buddy.
Dynaball has also reached a new milestone of 200,000 Gamerscore, which is excellent.
Woo, yeah.
And R56 Cooper S11 has reached a new milestone of 350,000 Gamerscore.
I think Cooper will be at PAX next week as
I
well.
believe
Oh,
he
great.
will.
Yes, and his brother Oz Buffinatic?
Yeah.
Oz Buffinatic?
Damn it.
I'm not sure how you say it.
400 points away from 7th spot
On what?
on the Australian Gamerscore leaderboard.
Crunchflake has also reached 250,000 True Achievement score. And pretty cool milestone, I think, here. P-Tart TX is now number 1 in the Michigan Gamerscore leaderboard for collectible card games. I had no idea she played collectible card games, but that's pretty damn cool, I think.
She's been playing Gears Pop.
Pretty.
That's bad. Like, Gears Pop is center up that board. She's been hitting it hard, I think.
That makes sense. Alright, well, we've come to the end of episode 61. If you're still here, thanks for putting up with us. If you want to get in touch with us, you can send an email through to hello@realgamerscore.com. You can find us on Twitter @realgamerscore. You can also join the Discord, discord.io/realgamerscore. You can find us also on Patreon, patreon.com/realgamerscore. You can also write in questions to the show, like Isaac does on a regular basis, and we will answer them in the next episode. If you're also interested in being on the show, get in touch with me. You can also help the podcast by subscribing on iTunes and other podcast platforms. You can leave us a review, which we will read out on the show. Tell your friends about us, retweet us on Twitter, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Now, Kirby, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, where could they find you?
Well, they'd have to touch the doll here, here, and here. And then they would contact me on Xbox.com, True Achievements, Xbox Live. Don't contact me on Xbox.com. That's a really weird way to do it. I don't know why I suggested it. Discord, Twitter, or you can... You know what? You can't even watch me on Mixer, to be honest, because none of my old clips are there anymore. But ChinDocta, ChinDocta. I really nearly forgot how to spell my own name. I was very close.
It's been one of those recordings.
It has. It
Yep.
has.
All right, Matt. If someone wants to get in touch with you and say congratulations on your 45,000 million achievements, How will they do that?
Best way to get a hold of me is on Discord or on True Achievements. As always, I love all my fans. Please send as much fan mail, great pictures that you've drawn of me playing video games.
Like your profile picture on Discord?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's.
Do you remember when you first joined, I thought it was, a horse or something, and it's a wizard?
It's a wizard, yes.
Oh, yeah. He's
Yeah,
still
I
got
was
it,
like,
yeah.
What is it?
It's still, it's so my, actually my Xbox picture is basically just another wizard from Ziggurat, because I couldn't get the original wizard to fit into that space.
Ziggurat's a good game, man.
Great game.
You finished all the achievements in that, haven't you?
Absolutely not. No
Was
way.
it you or Jimbot?
I think it was Jimbot. That game wrecks me completely. But yeah, absolutely. I think this is the week where I tell everyone that I like them and that they should talk to me. But really, this gag has been running for so long that I've actually lost track about whether it's the week where I tell people to
do both.
Yeah, so definitely contact me this week. It would be great to hear from you. But if it's the other week, don't ever speak to me ever again. And if you do, I will hunt you down and your family.
Okay,
Neomaster on True Achievements or on Discord for either of those things.
Because I'm gonna cut the one that it shouldn't be. So I'm glad you mentioned that again, because otherwise it would have been really weird.
Perfect. No, you got it.
Alright, and you can reach me on Xbox, Twitter, Mixer, True Achievements. It's ProfessorPluto. And on Twitch, ProfessorPluto1. Like Chin, all my old clips are probably gone. So, yeah. But you can find them on YouTube, so that's good. Yeah. Alright. End episode 61 now. See you later.
Peace out. But I'm diggity.
Womba Bomba Wombat.